Now we begin with severe weather in central Vietnam, where heavy flooding continues to take a devastating toll.
That is right, Huyen. And as communities struggle with rising waters and widespread damage, the country's top leadership has now issued urgent directives to accelerate rescue and recovery efforts. As of 4 p.m. on November the 21st, heavy rain and flooding in central Vietnam have left 54 people dead or missing, damaged nearly 1,000 homes, and destroyed more than 15,300 hectares of crops. 26 national highway sections remain flooded or blocked by landslides. In response, the Politburo of the Communist Party of Vietnam issued urgent instructions, calling on ministries and local authorities to strictly follow party and government directives, with saving lives and assisting affected residents at the top priority. The Ministry of National Defense and Public Security have been ordered to deploy maximum forces and equipment, including helicopters and drones, to deliver food and essential supplies to isolated areas. The Ministry of Construction will help clear landslides, while the Ministry of Health will send medical teams to prevent disease outbreaks. Local authorities are urged to activate on-the-spot response plans and restore daily life as soon as water levels recede. The Vietnam Fatherland Front has been tasked with mobilizing international cooperation and donations to support recovery. The Politburo and Secretariat have also established 5 working missions to oversee relief efforts. Major cities and provinces have been assigned to assist flood-hit counterparts. Hanoi with Gia Lai, Ho Chi Minh City with Khánh Hòa, Hải Phòng with Dak Lak, and Quảng Ninh with Lam Dong.
And following the Prime Minister's directives, authorities on Friday afternoon inspected flood response efforts in the central region.
Deputy Prime Minister Lê Thành Long visited a 30-minute breach on the Tuất Lễ Dike, which caused widespread flooding. He met residents in 4 riverside villages and visited 130 orphans at the SOS Children's Village in Quy Nhơn. Working with the Gia Lai Provincial Party Committee, he acknowledged the locals' losses and urged authorities to follow central directives, mobilize all available resources, restore schools and health stations quickly, and implement measures to revive production and socio-economic development. Long-term plans for relocating people from high-risk areas were also discussed.
Deputy Prime Minister Hồ Quốc Dũng inspected the Mimosa and Pren passes, which have been damaged by severe landslides. He instructed the Ministry of Construction, local authorities, and relevant units to deploy maximum manpower and equipment to clear the passes within 10 days, while also planning long-term solutions. He emphasized rapid damage assessments and support for affected communities, including emergency funding within a week to restore livelihoods and restart production.
And as relief operations intensify across the central region, Vietnam's national airline group is stepping in with additional logistics support. Vietnam Airlines has announced the delivery of relief to support communities affected by severe flooding in Gia Lai, Dak Lak, Khánh Hòa, and Lam Dong provinces. The initiative applies to flights operated by Vietnam Airlines, Pacific Airlines, and VASCO or VASCO, and will continue until the end of 2025. The airline will also maintain a free transport of aid to Phú Bài, Da Nang, and Chu Lai airports, as previously implemented. Now, this program is open to government agencies, social organizations, and government-approved charitable foundations.
Right. Well, that is very heartwarming to see that now there's more logistical support so that the people can receive even more support from other sectors as well. However, even with relief supports on the move, some of the hardest hit areas are still in crisis. Now, in Dak Lak, rescue teams are dealing with some of the most challenging conditions yet. Now, floodwaters in the lower areas of the eastern communes have receded by about 2 meters and are expected to continue dropping on Friday. Now, Tây Hoa remains heavily flooded and completely isolated. Heavy rain continues in parts of the region and river levels are still at alert level 2 to 3, prolonging the risk of flooding and complicating rescue operations. In low-lying areas of eastern Dak Lak, flooding has persisted for several days. Military forces have deployed personnel and numerous vehicles to deliver food to affected areas and move residents to safe, higher ground. Despite these efforts, weather conditions remain challenging. Heavy rain with forecasts of over 150 millimeters in the next 24 hours could worsen flooding. Across the province, authorities continue focusing on food relief and evacuating residents from deep flood zones, while also beginning cleanup and recovery efforts in areas where water has receded.
And just to the north, in Zalai, the situation remains especially tough, with deep floodwaters lingering far longer than expected and leaving entire communities cut off. Now, specifically, eastern low-lying areas of the province remain heavily flooded. Many communities are still isolated, and residents are staying in evacuation zones. Water levels are gradually receding, but some areas remain under 0.5 to 1.5 meters of water, and roads are still cut off. Local authorities and volunteer groups continue to deliver food and essentials to help people cope with the prolonged flooding. The provincial authorities has prohibited residents from returning home until it is safe and is providing emergency aid, 2 million Vietnam dong per household for 3 months for poor and vulnerable families, and around 60 million Vietnam dong for homes that have collapsed.
And that is on Zalai province. Meanwhile, Lam Dong is now confronting its own severe challenges, this time on the roads. One of the province's main gateway into Dak Lak has been completely shut down after a massive landslide. Our reporter is on site at a major landslide on Mimosa Pass.
I am now at the Mimosa Pass, the southern gateway into Dak Lak, Lam Dong province. Right behind me is a major landslide that has completely cut the road, bringing traffic to a standstill. Authorities have blocked the area to ensure the public safety.
The landslides on the evening of November 19 causes the roadbed to shear off approximately 50 meters wide, 30 meters deep and nearly 100 meters long. Right after the incident, Lam Dong authorities declare a state of emergency and fully shut down Mimosa Pass. All vehicles are being redirected via Sakom and Tanung Pass to access the city.
Everyone here, from the construction workers to the emergency forces, has been on duty day and night. I've lived in Dak Lak my whole life, and seeing this today is truly heartbreaking. I have never witnessed a landslide as devastating as this.
Initial assessments show that days of continuous heavy rains have saturated the soil, increasing the risk of slips and collapses across mountainous routes. The province has now suspended traffic on Duran, Mimosa, and Pran passes. Transportation authorities warn the risks remain high and urge residents to avoid traveling through these areas. Machinery and personnel are being mobilized to reinforce the affected slopes and open temporary access routes, with the priority of restoring traffic and ensuring public safety.
The floods in Central and Central Highlands, Vietnam over the past few days have brought heartbreaking scenes. And Huyen, obviously we have seen a lot of devastating moments on social media and on television, and under the comments section, a lot of people calling for rescue and helps as well. And whenever you listen to stories like that and seeing scenes like that, our hearts just dropped.
Yes, Dylan. But amid such devastation and hardships, we see there are still moments of hopes and miracles. And actually, we've put together a compilation to show some of these moments. Now, let's take a look. Now, behind me right here is floodwaters in Ia O commune, Dak Lak province, with water rising to 2 meters in some areas. And from afar, you can see there is a drone used by the commune's police forces to pinpoint the exact locations of those trapped in this historic flood. It's amazing how such a small drone can lift a full-grown man. Now, miracles really do happen. But accidents also can happen to anyone during devastating floods, even a 24-month-old baby. Now, this little one right here slipped and fell into the water, left in a life-threatening state with very weak breathing. But that didn't stop the Zalai mobile medical team. And thankfully, just minutes later, the child regained consciousness and started breathing steadily. Truly a miracle we see here in the middle of the flood. And in Tuy An Bắc commune at Dak Lak province, a mother feared she had lost her child, but luck was on her side. She was finally reunited with her daughter, and tears have been shed as 2 days apart in the midst of this flood felt like an eternity.
Em làm ở ra em gọi nhờ cháu nhà cháu mà ba ngày này không biết tin tức con.
And there are even more moving moments that are unfolding during the rescue operation. Now let's watch these miraculous moments together. Now, this is a busy day in Gia Lai province. People are sharing every bit of food and water to get through this flood season. And here, these are tears of joy as after days of stranded with little food and supplies, this mother and child were finally rescued. And police forces are working day and night to assist those in flood-affected areas. Now, the tougher the situation, the more hope we see. We hope to witness moments of courage. Floodwaters may sweep away the things we hold dear, but the spirit of solidarity and compassion shines through in every act of help. These stories remind us of the strength and resilience of the Vietnamese people, and we'll continue to bring you updates on the flood situation.